Hello there, Sim0nTrains here, or some people like to call me Sim0nTrains. Now, I have cleared off a few stations this year between Crewe and Stockport by Sandbach and Holmes Chapel and all that. But there's 3 stations that I do need to visit for this year. So we're going to be clearing them off today, finishing off this line once and for all, filming trains at. So we're going to be starting today at Alderley Edge, Wilmslow, Handforth, 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 and why am I in black and white? Handforth, 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 and yes, our last and 4th station is Rugeley Trent Valley. So I will join you at Rugeley Trent Valley very early in the morning after the intro gets rolled, so we can visit these 4 railway stations that I've got planned for today. So I'll see you at Rugeley Trent Valley. Even about Rugeley Trent Valley. Hello, my name is Simon, and I'm a rail enthusiast for the town of Rugeley in Staffordshire. And I also use the railway to travel around the country. These are my journeys across the United Kingdom by the Iron Rails, which sometimes can go successful or end up in a disaster. The block now approaching this YouTube channel is the next Sim0nTrains Railway Journey, and I welcome you to this service. So please sit back and enjoy the adventure. So our journey will be starting at Rugeley Trent Valley Station this morning. We're going to be catching the 0809 to Crewe. It'll be a London Northwestern Railway service, 8 coaches and a Class 350, well, 2 of them to be honest, because they're in 4-car formations. But once they're at Crewe, I'm actually going to be using Crewe for a 12-minute connection to change trains onto the Northern service, which will take me to my first destination, Alderley Edge. But yeah, the 0809 is a peak time train service, but it should be quiet to be honest. So the only reason I'm starting at Rugeley Trent Valley this morning and not at Rugeley Town is because the train off Rugeley Town actually arrives at 0808, and then it's 1-minute connection time to Trent Valley to catch this train that I'm going to catch to Crewe. So that's why I'm starting at Rugeley Trent Valley this morning and not Rugeley Town. the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the station history of Alderley Edge Railway Station, so I'll just disappear right now. Now, Alderley Edge Railway Station was opened on 11th May 1842 by the Manchester and Birmingham Railway, but when it was opened it was just named Alderley. In April 1853 it was named Alderley and Chorley, and in January 1876 it was named to Alderley Edge, the current station name today. Now, Alderley Edge was part of the first stage of the West Coast electrification project. The line was electrified in 1960, and since the 1960 the station acted as a terminus for some local services. Both platforms are bi-directional signalled, and south of the station are some turnback sidings. So that's the station history of Alderley Edge Railway Station, and this is our first location of the day we're filming at out of 3. Now I do have Jordan with me as well. Say hello, Jordan! Hello. Yeah, Jordan's decided to come with me on another trip again. But the reason we're here as well is because since the 14th of September, northern services have been ramped up. So when I did Sam Batchet Holmes Chapel, all we got was an hourly northern service there. Now we've got the half an hour service back here, and plus we also got the services that terminate off here to go to Southport, as you saw those class 150 sprinters. However though, we did see the Pride train passing through here when I got off the 323. So we're just going to film a couple more trains passing through, but our next service will be a Northern Class 319, or as someone else likes to call them, filthy buggers. And that's going to take us down the line to our next destination, Wilmslow. This is Wilmslow Station. Now before I carry on talking, we're going to do the station history of Wilmslow Station first, so I'm just going to disappear now. Hopefully this works. So Wilmslow Station opened 1842 by the Manchester Bergen Railway. The line to Stile and onto Manchester by Hill Green opened in 1909 by the London Northwestern Railway, only because the line between Stockport and Manchester couldn't cope with the increase of traffic. The line joins at Slade Green Junction, which is just north of 11th Tube Station. Now Wilmslow saw electric trains in 1959 when the line to Stile was electrified as part of the West Coast Main Line electrification. And back again. So this is Wilmslow Station. It's actually a Northern Railway station that has 4 platforms. Now Avanti West Coast do stop at this station, and so does Transport for Wales. In fact, everything that on this line actually stops here apart from the freight trains. Now the reason I was at Wilmslow was actually just for the previous freight train that just went past, because that was 6G92 download to Washford Heath. Now I think that movement's happened because of something to do with HS2, but I'm not too sure. Now on that work it used to be 66731, which is Captain Tom Moore, but unfortunately they swapped the loco, so we had 66706 instead. But it's got the working, but I did get the freight locomotive I wanted to for GB Railfreight. So we're just going to film a few more trains before we move on to the last station of the day on this line, to Handforth. So this is the final station I visited today, Handforth. Now, after filming at this station, I've literally done all the stations this year from Crewe to Stockport, because I've done Goosery and Chelford back in January. I've done Sandbach and Holmes Chapel in, I think it was July, and the rest of the stations, Alderley Edge, Wilmslow and Handforth, would be done today. So we have filmed all the stations on this line, but in like 3 different seasons, to be honest, because we did one in winter, one about the summer, and this is autumn now. Also at Handforth, they got these station signs, and they've got a lot of them, to be honest. All different like train operating companies around the world, like there's an NCF one, a DB one, Northern Ireland Railways one, and there's loads of signs knocking around, but I have counted how many signs are at this railway station, and I'm going to interact with you a little bit now, because we're going to have a little comment test or something like that. If you can guess how many station signs of different operating companies are at this station, I will pin the comment. So we're just going to film a couple of trains now before we head back to Crewe, because when I go back to Crewe there is a movement that I want to capture, but there has been problems on this line because there has been a obstruction between Sandbach and Crewe. A few trains actually terminated at Sandbach and started at Sandbach, to be honest. So hopefully that's not a problem. Fingers crossed. So do the station history, film a couple of trains, and then we go back to Crewe. Now this is the station history and some other information. Handforth Station. Handforth Station was opened on the 10th of May 1842 by the Manchester and Birmingham Railway. Now the station is adopted by the Friends of Handforth Station, formed in 1996. The adoption group carries out a number of projects at the station, including a station garden, sculptures, poetry and station signs for other railway operators in other countries. Just going to carry on doing some more filming here before we head back to Crewe. I'm at Crewe Station now. Now we are waiting for a movement to come here, which is from Castle Dollington to Allerton Depot. Now it's going to be top and tail class 57/3 locomotives, 57-310 and 57-312, which will be dragging a 769 unit. Now a 769 unit is just basically a 319, but with a diesel motor underneath. But that's coming through, heading towards Allerton, so we're going to get that, and then I'm going to the fourth station I visited today. There was supposed to be a little gag in this video that I was going to go visit 3, and about this time now I was going to announce the fourth station, but as you know, the fourth station I visited today is Rugeley Trent Valley Railway Station, which really it needs introduction. So we're just going to film some trains here, and then I'm going on back to Rugeley to film at Rugeley Trent Valley.
12-week period with scheduled completion around 12 months.
So it's funny that the station I started at this morning is actually the fourth station I'm visiting today. This is Rugeley Trent Valley Railway Station, and to be honest, it really needs introduction because I always come here if I'm going anywhere between this way and that way on the West Coast Main Line. If I'm going up to Crewe or going down towards Tamworth, Nuneaton and so on. But we're having just over an hour here filming some trains passing through. Now, there is another reason why I'm here at Rugeley Trent Valley, which I'll explain in a minute. So I'm going to disappear now and do the station history. In 3, 2, 1. I don't think that's worked. Let's try that again. So now that I've disappeared, here's the station history of Rugeley Trent Valley Railway Station. It opened on the 15th of September 1847, the same day as the Trent Valley line opened between Rugby and Stafford. The line from Cannock was opened 1859 by the Cannock Minimal Railway. Now, services to Cannock and Walsall ceased in January 1965 when services from Rugeley to Walsall were withdrawn, but the services were reinstated to Rugeley Trent Valley in 1998. Now, between 1996 and 1998, Rugeley Trent Valley has been served by local stopping trains between Stafford and Rugby, and in 1987 to Coventry. These services were withdrawn in 2004, when work began on the West Coast Main Line upgrade in 2008. And then in 2008-2009, services to London Euston, which started at Crewe, were started by London Midland. And then in 2019, we did have services that were starting here to go to London Euston by Birmingham New Street, and that ended up in a disaster, to be honest. But also before we had this service to London Euston and all that, we did have trains coming from Birmingham New Street by Cannock, which were through here to Stafford. We did have services that terminated Stafford from here, but they were cut back when the London train was introduced. But the reason that I'm here also doing some filming is there is a multi-purpose vehicle on its way up, an MPV. Now, the railhead treatment train season is going to be underway in October, so they're doing some training on the MPVs on the routes they're taking. And usually in the evening, about 9 o'clock in the evening, you do see an MPV up and down the chase line to Rugeley Trent Valley. Fortunately, we may not be able to see it because if the rumours are true, there could be a curfew at 10 o'clock in the evening. Don't know how that true is yet. But that's the other reason we come here to Rugeley Trent Valley for, to get that. And then after I finish filming here, I'm going to be hopping on the 1560 back to Rugeley Town to end the vlog. So I made it to Rugeley Town Station now. I didn't say I'm back at Rugeley Town because we never really started Rugeley Town Station this morning. We actually started Rugeley Trent Valley. Now, let's go to summarise today up, shall we? So, as I left on the 0809 to Crewe, we changed trains on the 0848 to Alderley Edge. Alderley Edge was alright actually. Filming there was okay, we got what we wanted. Got a few freight trains passing through. Alderley Edge was absolutely fine. Then I moved on to Wilmslow. Now Wilmslow again, there was a cancellation train. The Liverpool train by Manchester Piccadilly wasn't running because there was some problems in the Sandbach area, an obstruction of some kind. Some services were actually terminated at Sandbach and started at Sandbach to go towards Manchester. But other than that, it has been good at Wilmslow. I did miss one working though at Wilmslow. And I didn't film this and I didn't take a photo of it, and I dreaded I did now. 66587, the pink shed, as one we can pass through on platform 4. To be honest, it caught me out of the blue, this did, but it was towing a rake of Mark V coaches and I missed it. But hey, that's the life of the hobby. You catch them, you don't catch them. And there's a wasp about to fly onto the camera. Yeah, I'm not happy with that, so we can go that way. Anyway, yeah, it's alright, there was a wasp by there. So we're going to carry on because I don't want to start and carry on the intro again. So Wilmslow was alright apart from that working. Then next, we went to Handforth. Now there was no problems at Handforth, everyone was alright filming there. However though, there was a guy that was, I think he was like hoovering the leaves off the platform, and he was a bit, because he did ask me, what I'm taking photos of, and he said the trains, and he's like, you're not taking photos of me, are you? It's like, no, because I don't take photos of people, it's just the trains that are passing through. And he apologised after that, so it was a bit more lighter than the one at Bescott yesterday. But I think that's going to be a thing now. I'm going to get asked why I'm taking photos and all that. But anyway, so Handforth was alright, filled with the trains passing through there. We didn't get any freight. Then I went back down to Crewe to get the two Rail Operation Group's Class 57 locomotives, the 57/3, 57-310 and 57-312. And he was taking a Class 769 EMU to Allerton from Castle Donington. Now the Class 769 is basically a Class 319, but it's just got a diesel engine or battery underneath it, so it can run round the wires. But that project is delayed at the moment, which is why the Pacers are still available. And then after Crewe, we got that working. We came back to Rugeley Trent Valley, filled trains at Rugeley Trent Valley, and that's it. We did get that MPV, which was brilliant to see. That was 3Z19 Kings Norton to Kings Norton. We did see that yesterday at Bescott Stadium as well. And then I came back here. So that's the end of the blog. So the next blog I'm going to is, I don't really know because I haven't really planned it yet. So there will be another one very soon on YouTube. So this blog has been terminated at Rugeley Town Station. Thank you for trying with Sim0nTrains, and we'll see you for the next blog, whatever that will be.